Collegiate Athletic Conference of the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives, including singling out anyone by name, number, or position, are grounds for removal from the site of competition and other disciplinary action. Public intoxication, as well as the consumption and possession of alcoholic beverages and or tobacco products, is strictly prohibited. Persons throwing objects or participating in other acts in conflict with good sportsmanship and fair play are subject to ejection. And ladies and gentlemen, Trinity also requires that you wear your mask indoors except while eating or drinking.
We welcome you in to CalGuard Gym in the Bell Center here on campus at Trinity University in what promises to be an exciting Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference matchup between the Trinity Tigers and the Colorado College Tigers. My name is Ryan Figert, and I'm joined once again by Brian Yantelson. And Brian, we saw this exact matchup on this floor 3 times last season.
Yeah, and there is just something about Colorado and Trinity when it comes to women's basketball that signals a close game. Colorado coming into San Antonio twice in the regular season last year, defeating Trinity on their home court. But then when it mattered most, Trinity getting their revenge in the SCAC championship game to claim that title. Already this year, we've seen in their trip up to Colorado Springs, it was a close one, Trinity barely pulling it out. So we are thrilled to have this one for you on Tiger Network.
I think by all accounts, these are the 2 premier offenses in the conference, and that's especially true as Finelli returns to the Colorado College lineup. You saw their starting 5 of strength: Cloud, Finelli, Braley, and Bastin. Finelli missing the matchup between Trinity and Colorado in Colorado Springs just over a week ago, and since then she set the conference record for most assists in a game with 16 in their win at home against Schreiner. They're coming off a loss against Schreiner on a back-to-back against the Mountaineers, looking to bounce back tonight against the Tigers, and they need it in a big way coming into today's game, 7-10. For Trinity, it's a familiar starting 5 of Shipley, Milton, Coleman, Limoncello, and Robbins as they're introduced. I mentioned the overall record for Colorado College at 7-10, 4-4 in conference play, but that doesn't necessarily reflect their quality, Brian.
No, they've had quite a few close games, and they've taken some of the top teams in the country down to the wire, playing several ranked opponents, and then even Trinity, who's not currently ranked, but could easily be ranked by D3 Hoops, taking them down to literally the final second last week. And so that 7-10 record, very misleading, and especially, as we said, when Colorado meets Trinity, all numbers are thrown out. It's just going to be a good game, and we are ready for it here in San Antonio.
Colorado College record misleading. Leading the Tigers tonight is usual assistant coach Joe Shotland. He takes the helm for Trinity as the starting 5 break their huddle, and we are all set to get underway. Coach Shotland talking to us before the game. This is a special moment for him, coaching his alma mater, former player on the men's side, and getting a chance at the controls tonight as Milton will jump it up with Braley. And it's Limoncello that controls it. Trinity hold the ball first on their home court. Into Coleman. And kicked out now for Shipley. Limoncello thought about the early 3 and said they've got position for Coleman on the block. This will be a big battle up against Rosie Braley. Now Shipley on the drive gets rejected. And that's a good start to the game for the junior out of Independence, Missouri. And Finelli looking to get to the hoop, and she's got the first points of the game at the other end. Usually looks to facilitate the offense that time. She took the bit between her teeth and opens the scoring this evening.
And something so interesting about the matchup between Coleman and Braley as Coleman tries to get it to Milton, who just misses that layup. Not only a great matchup on the court, but just happen to both be from Missouri. Coleman and Braley both from the Show Me State, and so that matchup will be one to keep an eye on.
Good hustle that time from Shipley. Was first to the loose ball. Beat Talia Cloud there. Cloud missing a few games recently as Robbins steps into a big 3 and it splashes down. Give Trinity their first lead of the evening. Both Cloud and Finelli were out of the lineup when these two teams met just over a week ago. Colorado College back to full strength for this big conference matchup in San Antonio. Here's Finelli, used to having the ball in her hands. She's excellent on the dribble, and this time she hands it off for a jump shot that came up way too strong for Laura Strink. Limoncello down into the post for Coleman. Milton trying to get position down low as Shipley throws up a three. We're not used to seeing her shoot it from the outside, and the outcome that time showing us maybe why.
Yeah, definitely typically see Shipley driving to her left, trying to get to the rim and attack the defense. Don't typically see her pull up from there and won't see it very often.
Here's Cloud from the outside. That one rims out. Fighting underneath for the rebound. It's Braley that comes away with it. She goes up strong. Coleman able to contest and turn away Colorado College at the rim.
And Coach Joe Schottland really highlighting to us this weekend, very unique in the schedule setup that these teams have faced. Trinity has faced St. Thomas and Colorado right in back-to-back weekends as Coleman spots up and hits the mid-range jump shot where she's just so comfortable. But Joe Schottland mentioning that when you play a team so quickly right after you face them, typically it's about you making your own adjustments. You're not going to change your whole team just to face them again. But with this particular instance, Colorado really is a different team with two new starters, as you've highlighted, Finelli and Cloud. So it's going to be interesting to see how it looks different than that matchup in Colorado Springs, which was already so close, and Colorado missing two of their best players.
Excellent point, Brian, as Finelli comes into this game leading the nation in assists at the Division III level. She plays a ton of minutes, over 36 a night, and she's going to be the one handling the ball tonight as Coleman comes up with a big block down low. Bastin follows it in and gets the leaner to go. Audrey Bastin can light up the score sheet, had a career high 38 this year. A threat from both inside with her 5'11 frame and an ability to shoot the long ball, as Limoncello does here for Trinity. Comes off clanging from the rim. And Finelli grabs the long rebound and pushes the tempo. Robbins does well to just stand in the way that time, and now Bastin in the lane, dumps it off for Cloud. Cloud going up, and fouled by Milton.
But early on, you see the attention that Finelli draws. Every time she has the ball, at least two Tiger defenders are right on top of her. And we know that they enact this zone, so typically you have two defenders kind of in the vicinity of the opponent, but Finelli has just been closely guarded in just these first 4 minutes.
First free throw ties this game up at 5. And for Talia Cloud, it's a perfect trip to the line, and she'll head to the bench now with those 2 points. And Zoe Tomlinson in, 6'2", first-year player out of New York. It's one of the taller teams in the conference, if not the tallest team in the conference, and Trinity usually dominate down low with the likes of Coleman and Simmons. That may not be the case today, as Coleman can't hold it. And possession turned over to Colorado, holding a slim 1-point lead. Trinity pressing in the backcourt. Bastin just tall enough to be able to throw it over the top of the defenders. And Colorado weave their way through the press well. Bastin with the hesitation, and she gets to the rim. Coleman there coming on the closeout to prevent the three-point attempt, and that shows you, the different weapons that Bastin has in her repertoire.
And it was Bastin with the bucket, and here the other way, Robbins trying to get another three just off the mark. Colorado with the rebound, but it was really Finelli dealing with the full court press. We've seen teams struggle mightily, especially when they get trapped in the corner, as Finelli did, and now she pulls up for three and drills it. So a couple of great possessions by Finelli, but it just shows that this team trusts her to navigate that press like not many other people are able to do against Trinity, and it's working in their favor early on.
Yeah, Finelli will actually get another assist on that three-pointer. It was Laura Strength who made it, stepping into it straight away as that one rims out for Limoncello, but she grabs her own board, and Robbins is fouled going up. And it'll be a chance at some second chance points. Trinity, who quickly find themselves down 6. A 9-0 run by Colorado College, and we will take the timeout. Under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Colorado College coming out and bringing their scoring with them. We'll be right back on the Tiger Network. As we come back out of the timeout for 2 Maggie Robbins free throws. Colorado currently on a 9-0 run, Trinity looking to put a stop to that, and they do with the first freebie. We were talking over the timeout about Anna Finelli and her ability to navigate the Trinity press. It particularly looks good as Trinity have rattled off 12 straight wins, and they put a lot of teams under a lot of pressure and forced a lot of turnovers. Finelli so composed on the dribble that so far at least they've been pretty clean in possession, Brian.
Yeah, it's clear as day what such a talented guard like Finelli can do for an offense, and I know it's early, but it really has dominated so far in the first quarter.
And a big three for Audrey Bastin off the feed from Finelli. And Colorado push it back out to 8. Bastin with 7 early points here, as Leong is into the game for the first time for the home team. Foul call, I believe Braley underneath. Looks like Zoe Tomlinson, 32, called for the foul, contesting the shot for Coleman. And Tomlinson will head to the bench, quickly replaced by Talia Cloud, who got just a brief rest there. One to two trip to the line for Coleman. Colorado currently doubling up Trinity 7 points as Finelli drives and kicks it to Cloud on the far side. Cloud looking to fight for possession underneath. Last touch was off Kelly Simmons, who's into the game. Trinity going big right now to try and counteract all of the height on the floor for Colorado.
Absolutely, was just going to note that, Ryan. You mentioned how big Colorado is, and so having Coleman in at the same time as Simmons tries to do a good job to get against that, and right there working early on, even though Milton, her pass intercepted, but the block by Coleman there underneath.
Yeah, Bastin showing a good eye defensively to read the long pass by Milton, and it's back with Colorado. Here's Bastin, and a lot of movement off the ball right now for the visitors. And now they find Cloud on the elbow, kicks it out for Braley. Finelli past the first defender and gets the jump shot up. Fight for the rebound as the bodies hit the deck, and Colorado College come away with it. Right now, they feel like they're playing with the greater energy, and that could have been even more amplified as the three rims out. And Trinity run the other way. Shipley all the way to the hoop. They can't get the right touch off the glass, and Finelli has it going the other way. Dumps it off for Braley, who gets her own offensive rebound and puts it up with the left hand to extend the lead.
And a big swing here early on. What looked to be a nice open look for Shipley was not able to go, and then Braley going the other way, extending the lead out to 9.
Really good combination between the two post players as Coleman found Simmons, She couldn't make it count, and now the pass tipped away by Coleman at the other end, knocking it away from Audrey Bastin, who will now head to the bench. Healy Bledsoe in to replace her. So much height, even coming off the Colorado College bench. We've already seen Zoe Tomlinson at 6'2", and now Bledsoe at 5'11". Those two, both first-year players, so this height is going nowhere for Colorado College. We got really used to seeing Mackenzie Gertz running the post for the CC Tigers as Shipley runs the floor and gets 2 points. Her first of the game after an 0-3 start. But both of these teams really moving on from an era of having that one dominant player. Of course, Trinity, Abby Holland a couple of seasons ago now, and Mackenzie Gertz for Colorado College. Those two had some great battles over the years. And Finelli's allowed Colorado to build around her. Shipley, coming in as a transfer, has done the same for Trinity.
Yeah, two very difficult people to replace and really impossible to replace, but both of these programs have done a nice job trying to fill in with different pieces here and there. Wouldn't say that either of these teams has a truly dominant player quite yet, but those pieces that you mentioned, Finelli and Shipley, using the talent around them to build some pretty deep squads here for both SCAC programs.
First free throw is no good for Braley. Looking back through some of the matchups between these two teams over the years, Colorado College hated facing Abby Holland. There was 5 straight victories for Trinity from January 19 onwards. Holland leading the scoring in all 5, including 38 points in the SCAC semifinal win in 2019. So they were good to see. They were happy to see Holland depart as she graduated. Coleman grabbing the offensive board and putting it back up for 2. And it was the instant impact of Holland not being here as Colorado College came and won those 2 early games here in CalGuard Gym last season.
And the Maroon Tigers really did not take that well. They were prepared all season long leading up to that SCAC title and really put it to them, putting up a 10-point victory, as those victories by Colorado here in San Antonio were both very close, but Trinity really dominating in that title game.
That three-pointer off the mark for Bastin. Trinity tip around the rebound and eventually secure it. Here's Emily Nelson, who's running the point right now with Robbins on the bench. Coleman thought about the long 2, instead dumps it off for Leong, who'll pull from that same spot. No good. Simmons fighting for it on the ground, and she's fouled. There's going to be a lot of action for Coleman and Simmons. Shipley as well. Shipley and Coleman both starting this game and have played every minute so far. Coleman couldn't get that one to go. We are just about 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Trinity held to just 11 points so far as Bastin has got a lot of range. We thought about the long 3 there to try and get the 2 for 1. Colorado College will let the clock tick down, now 10 to shoot as they looked for the entry pass in for Braley, tipped away by Simmons. Good active hands on defense. And it'll be the Tigers of Trinity with the last shot. 2 players at the high post as Shipley goes around the defense and gets to the cup. And that one looks like it was maybe drawn up on the Trinity bench. They cut the lead to 4 heading into the quarter break. Really strong start for Colorado College coming down from the mountains here. They lead 17-13 and we'll be right back for the second quarter of action on the Tiger Network. We welcome you back in to CalGuard Gym, where Colorado College leads 17-13 on the back of 7 points from Bastin. Trinity with 5 points and 4 boards in the early action for Haley Coleman. It's the starting 5 with the exception of Simmons in for Coleman, who played the entirety of the first quarter. Shipley still yet to head to the bench. It's back out there once again to start the second. Puts the pressure on Talia Cloud in the corner. Finelli picks up her dribble, swings it across, and now Cloud in the opposite corner. 10 to shoot as Trinity putting the clamps on here, coming out of the quarter break, and now Robbins looking to tie it up. It's going to be a late clock 3 for Bastin and the offensive board for Talia Cloud, but she can't get the putback to go. Really good defensive possession for Trinity, almost killed by that offensive rebound. Shipley's fouled at the other end.
That was such a quality defensive possession. You said it perfectly. And you might see the pressure of Robbins almost getting the steal, but what really stands out is what doesn't happen with the passes that don't get even attempted, because Trinity is doing such a good job rotating and preventing those post players from getting the ball. And you see Joe Shotland on his feet clapping at how well they were rotating. And it almost was a killer there to see Cloud with the offensive rebound, but thankfully rimming out, and now Shipley with the free throws on the other end.
1-2 trip to the line for Shipley as Sienna Imabor is in for the first time, number 44 for Colorado College, calling for it here. She's met by 2 Trinity defenders, able to throw it over the top, and the visitors break the press. Finelli swings it across now for strength. She stepped into a 3 earlier, that one off the mark. And now Milton will push it. Simmons running ahead of her as it's dropped off for Shipley. Robbins just able to avoid traveling as she stuck the pivot foot into the hardwood.
Surprised to not see Limoncello pull up from 3 there. Wanted to be unselfish and get the ball to her teammates, but looked like she had a pretty good look there.
And now she's making the cut to the basket as she jumps it off for Robbins, who's had a good start to the game shooting the ball. Now 2 of 3 for 6 points for the Trinity point guard. Finelli able to split the 2 defenders to alleviate the pressure. It's a 1-point game as Bastin looking to extend it back out to 4, no good. And a fight for the offensive rebound, sees 2 players hit the deck. 2 thumbs pointed in the air for the referee. And the jump ball turns possession to Trinity as the arrow flips the other way for next time.
And so we've seen the response to that quality defensive possession where Trinity was doing such a good job blocking the post. 2 3-point attempts and they've been no good. So Trinity seems to be happy with allowing those 3-point attempts.
And they take a 3-point attempt of their own as Milton is on the board. And that's a big shot to try and open up the inside on their offensive end. Getting to the cup and getting a putback. It's good work that time from Audrey Bastin. So difficult to stop when she gets ahead of steam and gets running downhill. And now Limoncello for a long 3. Completely uncontested, but it comes off the right side of the rim. Both teams making 2 threes so far. Trinity taking 6 to do so. Colorado College 8 attempts in the game as this time they're underneath fighting for the loose ball. Eventually it arrives in the arms of Talia Cloud. Bastin swings it around for Finelli. And a really good cut to the basket, but Talia Cloud just struggling to finish right now. She didn't play against Trinity in Colorado, had an injury, we believe, that kept her out.
And maybe still shaking up some rust because she had 13 minutes of play against Schreiner and did not score a single point. So now we've seen a couple of missed layups, so definitely not the same Talia Cloud that we're used to seeing here when she plays so well against Trinity.
Yeah, it scored in double digits against Trinity all but 1 time so far in her career. And really left 4 points on the board with some layups missed here in the first half. It's a tied game right now. Knotted up at 19. These 2 high-flying offenses not exactly putting points on the board at will. As Colorado College swinging around, Bastin with the straightaway three, no good. And Limoncello gets the rebound. Bounce pass out to Emily Nelson. And now Coleman for three, and that one's good. Coleman showing her range from the outside and pushing Trinity out in front now, 22-19. Just 2 of 4 on the season stepping into that one.
Yeah, I was going to say not many attempts, but 50% is 50%, so that's just going to go up with that one.
That time, Coleman challenging the shot from Tomlinson, and Bastin crashing the glass and crashing into the Trinity player, commits the foul. And Leong will come back in now for Simmons.
A clear adjustment has been made by Trinity to not allow the ball to get close to the basket. That's about the closest it's been, and still that was a mid-range jump shot. But we've seen several three-point attempts miss, so it's clear after that first quarter, Trinity forcing Colorado outside.
Limoncello not afraid to look for a three-pointer of her own as they've been slow to get out and contest her shot. Can't get it to fall that time. And at the other end, Robbins contests the three-pointer, but it falls for Laura Strink. 2 makes for her here in the first half, and that one ties this game back up at 22 apiece. Coleman thought about another three-pointer. Stuck finds Robbins. Leong to Coleman on the block. Matched up here with Tomlinson, gets to her left hand, and scooping low and then high up off the glass. 2 more points for Haley Coleman, who's the first to 10 here in this game.
And not much Tomlinson can do there. You could see head coach Catherine Menendez telling her, keep your hands up, don't foul. But when you do that, you can just allow Coleman to have the easy look, and she just dominates down there when given the opportunity.
Helped out that time by Limoncello, who got the block. And Trinity swinging around the arc here. Robbins at the block, kicks it out for a Nelson three-pointer. And the three-pointer is raining right now for Trinity. Now up to 4 of 9 to start the game. And we haven't really seen them shoot like this here at home this season.
Yeah, Nelson, who was scoreless against Colorado just a week ago, getting in the box score quickly. So nice to see from her, providing a spark off the bench, giving Trinity a 5-point lead.
.427 to go here in the first half. Trinity out to a 5-point lead here, 27-22, helped out by some good three-point shooting here of late. Now Bastin, some more downhill running, swings it out to Braley in the corner. Strink has answered with a couple threes of her own so far, 2 of 3 from the floor for 6 points. Good post catch for Braley. And once she was wrong side of Coleman, it was only ever going to result in 2 points.
And you see how solid Colorado does when they're able to get the ball down low, but they've been kept out for a while as Nelson drains another three. Emily Nelson really feeling it here.
Yeah, the jumper looking pure. Threes falling for Trinity's number 3. That gives the Tigers a different dimension offensively. Seen them grind out some games of late without the 3-ball ever really falling consistently, and now they're up at 50% for the half. Some good work on the glass once again to answer by Rosie Braley, making her 50th career start for Colorado College today. That one's thrown away by Milton. The Trinity press just bypassed that time by the long pass. And now a chance for Bastin on the drive. The floater is off the glass and good. And the lead quickly shrinks to 2 for Trinity.
Colorado now 3 for their last 3 from the field, and they've all been right there at the rim. You see that when they're able to attack the basket, they're so much more successful than when they force up those threes.
Milton again getting inside, and now that's 4 makes in a row for Trinity. Both teams shooting it well here as the half winds down. Bastin will step into the three-pointer. It comes up short. Braley with the offensive rebound. And Coleman got a piece of the ball, but it got a piece of the player as well. And we'll head to the free throw line. Bailey Timmons in for the first time. She'll replace Emily Nelson, who goes to the bench with 6 points on a perfect 2 of 2 shooting. Second free throw, no good for Braley, and Coleman grabs the rebound. Her 6th of the half already. Definitely on double-double watch tonight. As Shipley drives, dumps it off for Coleman. Got the shot fake up and gets the left-handed effort towards the basket. And the kind bounce gives her 2 more points. Trinity up to a 5-point lead.
She's just in so much control down there. When she gets the ball in a full head of steam down there, there's no stopping her.
Finelli dribbling to evade the Trinity pressure. And now Colorado College can get into their offense, trying to go down low now for Braley. Bastin going up all the way over the top of Ashlyn Milton. Last touch off the Trinity player. It was Coleman who won the game for Trinity up in Colorado Springs. And at the moment, she's leading the way with 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting. 6 rebounds to go with it. As Milton's left on the ground, and the late 3 in the shot clock is good for Strink. He's now 3 of 4 shooting from behind the arc, and it's just a 2-point game.
Tough break there for Trinity. Couldn't quite see why Milton ended up on the ground, but Strink taking advantage and knocking down to 3. She's doing an excellent job, and now Colorado forcing the turnover as a foul will be called. So they have a chance to tie or take the lead here with just a minute and a half remaining.
It's been a really tough half for Milton, who's called for her 2nd foul there. Also has 3 turnovers. She's grabbed 3 rebounds and put up 3 points. 5 points, sorry. Just some uncharacteristic mistakes from her on the offensive end. Ball advanced to Braley. And Finelli will set it up. Patient dribble for Finelli, eventually picks it up. 5 to shoot now. She gets it back into Braley, has to get it up quickly, and she does. It's off the glass and in, tie game.
That was an impressive drive there by Braley. She had Coleman and then Milton helping, somehow able to get through both of them for the layup.
Here's Leon testing the waters in the lane, kicks it out for a Coleman 3-pointer, and that one was right on line, comes up just strong. Coleman pulling up for that one after making a 3-pointer earlier in the quarter.
So back to 50% for Coleman on the year.
Not too bad. As Finelli stares down Shipley, gets to the elbow, kicks it off for Braley. 10 to shoot. Colorado College using all of the shot clock their last couple of trips down the floor. Finelli is going to be denied access to the lane here, just flicks it up and gives Colorado College the lead with a leaner as the shot clock was set to expire. 7-0 run for Colorado College. Shipley looking to end it high up off the glass, and she does. And looks like we'll head into the break, knotted up at 36 apiece. And that half lived up to the billing, Brian. That was excellent basketball.
By far the best half of basketball we've seen from both sides. and just such quality play, really clean basketball. I mean, look at this box score. Colorado with just 2 turnovers, Trinity with 5. A couple came at the end there, but they were clean for most of the half, and very few fouls for each side. So really some good basketball that we have on our hands. Should be a great second half.
Heading into the interval, it's Coleman leading with 12 points and 6 rebounds for Trinity. Shipley added 7. Nelson and Robbins with 6 apiece. And on the other side, Bastin with 11 on 5 of 11 shooting. Braley 10 on 4 of 9. And Strink with a really efficient 9 points on 3 of 4 shooting from the outside. This one is set up for a blockbuster second half, and we hope you'll stick around for it. 14 minutes and 30 seconds until we're back underway. 36 apiece on the Tiger Network. We welcome you back in here to CalGuard Gym. This game all knotted up at 36 apiece. Trinity being led by their usual assistant coach, Joe Shotland. Brian, we got to talk to him before the game. This is a big moment for him in his coaching career.
Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. Joe Shotland telling us how excited he was today. Really a little emotional, thinking that he's going to get to lead his alma mater, the school he used to play for on the men's basketball team, and also getting to coach some players that he had a direct hand in recruiting. And so it's not something he expected to come at this point in the season, but replacing Coach Cameron Hill as acting head coach right now. And he's got quite the game on his hands, and I know he's excited to lead his Tigers through this tied game in what should be an excellent second half.
Yeah, we'll see Coach Hill back on the sideline sooner rather than later. But we are back underway here. 20 minutes to go in this one. Both teams giving as good as they got in the first half. It was a really clean game, as we mentioned, closing out. Just 7 total turnovers, only 2 for the visiting Colorado College Tigers. And that's why they've been able to stick right with Trinity, despite not the best start to the season. As that time coming off the three-point line and getting 2 is Laura Strank. She's quickly into double digits now on 4-6 shooting.
There's one thing Trinity can point to as being excited about the position they're in, being tied at the half with Colorado, much better than they were just a week ago, trailing by 9 at the half. They trailed by 12 at one point in the fourth quarter, so already a better position, but let's see if they can take advantage and come out strong, not let Colorado get out ahead too much.
And Robbins had a three-pointer there, rim out. Coleman disrupting on the rebound, but still Colorado come away with it. Finelli dumps it off for Strink, who's on the drive this time. And she's got the contact from Robbins.
Pretty late call there on the foul.
Finelli will head to the other side. That was going to be in front of Coach Menendez. This Colorado College team actually excellent coming out of side-out plays and timeouts, something to keep an eye on as this game stays close down the stretch. Coach Menendez really able to draw up good looks for her team, but it was Trinity who were able to do so in Colorado Springs to beat these Tigers just a couple of games ago. That one going right down to the wire with Haley Coleman winning it at the buzzer. Wide open look for Shipley. She's not in the mood to shoot the three, instead finds Coleman. The mid-range jumper from the elbow, no good.
You can see it pretty clearly on that one. Colorado giving Shipley plenty of room because they're taking away her drive to the left. We see it so often here in the home games we've gotten to call, but Shipley just hasn't had that lane open to her today.
Pass out into the corner for Simmons, out there playing alongside Coleman, and she'll pull the corner three. Saw Coleman make one in the first half, but that one rims out for Kelly Simmons. And this Colorado College team really forces you to spread out the floor, both on offense and on defense. They have shooters that, 5'10" or taller. You don't get that very often at the D3 level. Bastin, the prime example, a Strink is fouled hard, and a really awkward landing for both she and Coleman. Both of them quickly back up to their feet.
That was number 25, Haley Coleman, is second. Team foul number 2, it will be 2 shots for Laura Strink.
Laura Strink averaging just 4 a game coming in to this afternoon, and she's already tripled that now with 12 points, giving her team a big effort offensively so far. This is a 64% shooter from the line, and she's really locked in right now. Makes both to push it out to a 4-point Colorado lead.
Yeah, you would never believe that she averages 4 a game, and you also would not believe that last time these two teams faced each other, Strink had 13 turnovers, replacing Finelli and trying to take that lead guard role. And today she has 0 turnovers.
And here's Shipley now for 3. That one was on line, just a little bit too strong. You saw her hesitate and eventually decide to take the shot. Not a lot of offense going right now for Trinity. And likewise, no field goals in the last 2.5 minutes for Colorado. Finelli does a good job getting back there and knocking it away from Shipley on what may have been an easy fast break.
You could almost see Shipley's eyes light up. She finally had some room there, but Finelli doing a great job knocking it away from her and letting her defense get back. But now a nice pass from Coleman, finding Milton for the easy one down there. So we'll see if that gets the Tigers going in the second half.
Coleman leading the Tigers in assists last game. That was just her first today. She's been mostly looking to score, 12 points on 5 of 8 so far. Out in the corner defending against Braley, who threatened to shoot, and now she will shoot the corner 3. Again, had it on line, but too strong. And this one's going to stay with Colorado College.
This
and
is
it's just
shocking.
The wrong call. Coach Shotland and all the Trinity players having a word. I think the referees might need to come together here and just think a little bit about what transpired. Well, they're going to stick with the call as we look at it quickly. The missed 3 from Braley. Last touch off Bastin twice before she throws it off Simmons. But in any case, the ball doesn't lie as Strink throws it away herself and will head back down the other end of the floor.
Fitting that the Tigers get the ball in that fashion. Obviously difficult to tell on that replay, wasn't completely clear, but would have been unfortunate for Trinity to not have that go against them, and just probably for the best that Colorado didn't score on that one.
And 3 quick turnovers coming out of the halftime break as Simmons long 2 is no good, and Coleman going for the rebound. Got Strink in the face. Third foul for Coleman, something to keep an eye on. She played 20 minutes so far, and I think she's about to be replaced as Nelson heads to the scorer's table.
And in the few moments of silence in the gym, you can hear some chirping, both teams not only chirping at each other, but at the referees. So something to look forward to, because as this game gets close, if anybody draws a technical, could be a big swing either way.
Now Bastin. Left-handed dribble, kicks it out to Braley. Now Bastin in the corner, comes up short. She's gone cold from the floor since a pretty good start. 1 of 7 from 3 now. Nelson's had it from 3, and she wants it back from Shipley. But Trinity will swing it around. And here's Maggie Shipley on the left-handed drive, going right at the defender and getting her own rebound. Throws it up high off the glass. All of the Trinity players calling for a foul, but it's Robbins who goes up to get the 2 points and a chance at one more.
Shipley dealing with so much contact down there, but nothing called. Robbins there, though, to clean it up and get 2 points herself, trying to finish this and 1.
Really strong play from the smallest player out on the floor. And Maggie Robbins plays definitely above her size. Almost 4 boards a game for Trinity's go-to ball handler. She's actually second in the SCAC in assists per game with 3.5. That's, of course, way behind Anna Finelli, who leads all assist providers in the country with almost 9 a game. Just crazy numbers, and that, of course, was helped out by her record-setting 16.
Looked like a clear double dribble there by Finelli, but again, no call, so we've seen some questionable ones here. And the Tigers are just as shocked as we are up here. Joe Shotland pretty beside himself on the sideline.
He mentioned going up to Colorado, you know, there's different officials. You have to get used to how the game's going to be called. The game hasn't been called, you know, in a way that Trinity expected, despite it being hometown officials today. That's something they're having to adjust for as they lead by 1 currently. 15 minutes to go in the game as Cloud will have a look for 3. That one rims out. Good strong play underneath for Braley, who goes up and restores the Colorado College lead. Shipley thinks about pushing it, but Colorado get back in time. Now it's dumped off for Emily Nelson to set up the offense. And she'll step into a 3. She's been online, making her first 2, but that one was off the rim and out, and we'll head into the timeout with Colorado College in front, 42-41. Be right back for the final 14 minutes of action in just a moment. Good to see some former Tigers out in the stands supporting the team. It's Abby Holland Contreras now there with her newlywed husband Adrian. Congratulations to those two. Abby finished her career second in points with over 1,600 in total and an All-American in her final season 2020. One of the greats in Trinity history, Brian.
Truly some royalty in the building today, and right in front of them you see Coach Andrew Cohn and Coach Annie Weiss. Kind of weird to say Coach Annie Weiss because you and I were both here for her involvement on the championship team here, the women's basketball team. Annie, a two-sport athlete playing tennis and basketball. Now she's coaching for Trinity, and her and Coach Cohn have been the most vocal supporters today, getting up and cheering after a big three from their teammates, and you can see them right there. A little bit off your screen, but they get up and cheer after every big play.
There's a big play for Maggie Shipley. Finally gets some joy inside, gets the 2 points and a chance at a third from the free throw line as the foul goes against Bledsoe. Trinity shooting slightly better, 43% from the floor. Now up to 63%, 5 of 8 from the line. This game all tied up. Colorado College shooting 39% as a team. Finelli just able to advance that. 20 to shoot now as it's back in her hands.
And Ryan, as Colorado tries to get back into their half-court offense here, nice drive there to the lane by Teddy Reed. First we've called her name. She gets on the board for the first time. I know you mentioned earlier, without knowing that Abby was in the building, that Colorado hated to see her. I don't think they're too happy to see her in the stands. She's had some pretty incredible performances against this Colorado team.
Yeah, and her biggest performance, the SCAC tournament record-setting 38 put up against Colorado College in the 2019 semifinals. We'll see if her very presence can help Trinity to victory. This time from the stands. They trail by 2 right now. Shipley swings it to Nelson, who steps into the 3. And Holland and the crowd rise up to cheer as Emily Nelson, now 3 of 4 from behind the arc, restores Trinity's lead. And we head into the timeout with the home team up 47-46.
30-second timeout for Trinity is also time.
We retake the floor here. Just over 3 minutes to go in the third. This one closely contested. Trinity lead 47-46. Finelli, not much to look at ahead of her, and she finally finds strength just in time as the shot clock was ticking down towards 20. Finelli now to Strink, having one of the best days of her Colorado College career. That one tipped away by Shipley.
And we've seen Finelli manage this Trinity pressure with ease. And after Colorado had 28 turnovers in their loss to Schreiner and 31 up in Colorado Springs against Trinity, they have just 5 today. That's a big reason that they've been right there with Trinity this whole game.
Yeah, it was definitely a point of emphasis between the games. Really had to clean it up, and they have. And they're right in this game as Leong has her shot blocked, and stepping into the mid-range second chance shot was Ashlyn Milton, now diving to the floor. She has the rebound, and she's tied up. And then they'll stay with Trinity on the jump ball.
And if you don't think this game means a lot to both these teams, you had 4 players diving on the court right there for that loose ball. Everybody giving it all they have. And going into this fourth quarter, such a tight game. We're expecting a photo finish like we always have between these two teams.
Shipley inbounds for Nelson. He's provided a real offensive outlet with her scoring from outside. Was trying to get to the cup that time and had it knocked away. And now Finelli, great handles in the backcourt, able to split the double team. And she'll now set up the Colorado College offense. Kicks it out for Bastin. Bastin may have traveled there. The official right on hand allowed play to continue, and Bastin missed the mid-range jumper. Now it's 6 of 16. Milton catches it. Finelli to put the pressure on. Last touch off Colorado College. Trinity will have 13 to shoot as Talia Cloud comes back in. And we see Ava Limoncello return. Milton heads to the bench with 7 points. Hasn't got a ton of shots up. Limoncello thought about hoisting up the 3. Said it's kicked across for Emily Nelson. The high arcing 3 comes off the front of the rim. And the follow-up from Simmons is no good. Saw a lot of contact there as Finelli just able to escape the double team. And now it's 3v2 at the other end. Bastin getting inside. Her layup won't fall, and it's tied up. This one will stay with Colorado College. The arrow will flip over for next time.
And that last 3 looked like it was good from Nelson. She's been on fire today already, 3 for 5. And she was yearning for the ball, jumping up and down in that corner until a teammate saw her.
Immense strength. She struggled with turnovers the first time these two teams met this season. Turned it over that time. Also set a new career high in points. As she hit 13 in 38 minutes of action. She's level best with that right now. And got over a quarter to try and set a new career best. Here's Shipley pivoting in the lane. Gets to her weaker right hand, but still gets it to fall. Trinity up 3 now with under a minute to play in the quarter.
And Shipley saying, you're going to take the left side away from me? Well, I can go to my right just as well.
Bastin went to her right. Just can't get it to go through the net right now. Audrey Bastin down to 33% shooting out of 18 attempts. And Milton will come in for Shipley. Robbins in for Nelson to finish out this third quarter. Still looking for Leong, Simmons, and Limoncello to get in the scoring column. Of the 5 out there for Trinity right now, Simmons has grabbed 9 boards, so she's made her contribution in that way. 20 remaining in the quarter, 11 to shoot as Limoncello with an ill-advised left-handed layup that time. Colorado College will get the last chance to potentially tie it up here. But Limoncello pokes it away, and now she's got clear court ahead of her. Bastin coming across to meet her, but it drops in off the front of the rim, and Limoncello beats the buzzer to give the home team a 5-point advantage heading into the final 10 minutes. Brian, this one is set up, like you said, for a photo finish. It's going to go the distance, and we hope you'll stick around for the concluding action when we return. 10 players step out onto the hardwood for the final 10 minutes of action. Trinity in front by 5, 51-46. As Colorado College had a chance to maybe tie it in the final possession of the quarter, but Limoncello got the steal and got 2 points. Put the home team back in control. Here's Shipley, fouled, going up for it by Braley. Bastin and Strink with 13 points each for Colorado, 12 for Braley. He's also grabbed 10 boards. Shipley gets the first one to go.
With that free throw, Ryan, Shipley now the leading scorer for the Tigers, but I've got to say I've been incredibly impressed with her composure. She has dealt with a ton of contact, and she has clearly been the focal point for this Colorado defense. She has really earned her points.
Finelli now over to Strink. That one off the foot of Shipley. Strink into the corner for Cloud, 10 to shoot. Bastin back to Cloud. She'll get the late clock 3 up and no good. And Shipley secures the rebound. Coleman calling for it up ahead. And Shipley almost apologetically saying, I can't get it to you. There's too many players streaming back. That's Colorado College showing the hustle that's required to try and stay in this game. Now down 7. Leong on the drive, and it gets to her right hand, but can't get it to fall. Still looking to score her first points of the game. And she's committed the foul, trying to get back on defense.
As we saw last week in Colorado Springs, 10 minutes in the fourth quarter, a long time to play with Trinity trailed by 12 in the final period before coming back to get that thrilling victory. So plenty of time having to close out, play well, because anything can happen as Robbins in the fast transition possession, and Coleman, as she does such a good job getting to the basket, drawing contact, will go to the line.
Yeah, great body control that time by Coleman, who was at full sprint and managed not to commit the charge, just sidestepping Finelli, who was called for the block, or Strink, sorry, that was called for the block. Just the first foul against Laura Strink. One of 2 trip to the line for Coleman. Split both of her opportunities at the free throw line, but she's come up with a big steal here. And Trinity quickly back into their offense. Now up 8. This lead continues to swell, and now push it to 10 as Haley Coleman's taking over. She leads all scorers with 15.
And Coleman really taking advantage of having the smaller Reed on her. Teddy Reed just 5'8", Coleman at 5'11". And as soon as Coleman saw she had her on her, just shooting right over the top of her.
And that'll be a timeout for Coach Menendez. And they'll make it the media timeout, so we'll take it with them. Trinity pushing that 5-point advantage that they brought into the fourth out to 10, 56-46. It'll be Finelli to inbound as Colorado College need to rebound from this 5-point swing to start the quarter. First double-digit lead, I believe, of the night for Trinity. 8 to shoot as it's into Braley in the lane, and Coleman's called for the foul. She got caught reaching there. And Haley Coleman now up to 4 fouls, signals over to Coach Shotland that she wants to continue. He takes the feedback and says, okay, I'll put Kelly Simmons in so that she can defend in the post and leave Haley Coleman on the floor, who shot an incredibly efficient 6 of 9 for 15 points. She's far and away the most efficient scorer in Trinity history at over 60% field goal percentage. And I believe top 5 in the nation right now. I think she finished last season, although not everybody played across the country, as number 1. Kicks it out to Simmons this time. Simmons pirouettes and has it knocked away on the spin. Spacing maybe not optimal that time for Colorado College on the Bastin drive. It's kicked out to Finelli. Swung over for Strink, who drives baseline, but turns it over, and Trinity are out and running in transition. The bounce pass for Simmons, who goes up for her first points of the game. On the assist from Maggie Shipley, the lead back out to 10.
And head coach Catherine Menendez not happy with what she's seeing on her end. She's being very vocal with her orders, and her team not doing quite what she's asking, and she's getting ready for a replacement right here, sending in Zoe Tomlinson at the next break. And you see her coming in right now. And as she comes in, Coach Menendez was telling her directly what she wants from her as she enters this pivotal period, just 6.5 left. Game getting away quickly from Colorado.
And it's got away from Audrey Bastin, who's called for this foul. Hit that early three-pointer, but has gone cold since. Missed her last 7. And if Colorado College are going to climb back into this game with just over 6 minutes to go, they're going to need a couple of those threes to fall. Trinity need to track down this loose ball, as a miscommunication on the offensive end eventually does lead to a turnover. And Teddy Reed up for 2 after her feet pretty clearly slid across the hardwood. Maybe the referee caught behind the play, not sure. Either way, it cuts into the Trinity lead. Now back to 8.
Really about as good a job as you can do. Maggie Robbins there forcing the tough shot. Thought she had forced a turnover, but not quite. Nice job by Reed finishing.
And this time the referee points down the other end as Simmons takes the charge on the contact from Teddy Reed. And Tomlinson is back to the bench as Braley returns. Rosie Braley twice received all SCAC honors, 3rd team last season.
You see that lane just cut off. Shipley meeting 2 defenders every time she tries to go to her left. Colorado's done a really nice job, but even still, Shipley with 14 points on the day. That's why just so impressive what she's done today from everywhere on the court.
And Brian, we were looking at the SCAC standings, as you know, we're seeing a really good display of quality basketball from Colorado College. But they're not even assured necessarily of being in the top 6, and these games are really important for them. As Strink, here's the Strink music once again, another 3 for her. She's up to a career high 16, and Colorado College is back within 5.
But Ryan, to your point, Colorado coming into today 4-4 in conference play, and we started this afternoon talking about how well they've played some really tough opponents going up against ranked Hardin-Simmons and ranked Whitman at the beginning of the year. But as Shipley gets that one to go, Coach Shotland pointing out that this is a young Colorado team that just hasn't been able to put the wins together. Winning is really a learned skill according to him, and this is a team that hasn't been able to put the pieces together at the end of these close games. We saw it last week in Colorado Springs where they had a big lead in the 4th quarter, let it slip away. We'll see if they can mount a comeback here down 7. but this is, on the other end, a Trinity team full of experience. Mentioned that they won the championship last year in the conference. They know how to win the big games and the close games.
And one of their most experienced players, Haley Coleman, is set to come back in off the bench. As Trinity swinging around the arc. It's with Nelson in the far wing. Entry pass in for Milton, who's fouled going up by Finelli. Seen a couple of times throughout the game, Milton posting up down low against the smaller Finelli and not receiving the pass. That time they were finally able to find her. And she's looking to make it count at the line now. It's been held to just 7 points on 3 of 5 shooting so far.
And Milton, like Shipley, someone who has not had it easy today. It's clear that Colorado has made an effort to keep her away from the bucket. Milton averaging over 14 points a game, had 19 against Colorado and had 20 against St. Thomas on Friday night. So she's just in single digits still, but she has done a phenomenal job not forcing it because she's been an efficient 3 of 5 from the field. So she's getting the shots up when she has room, and when she doesn't, getting it to her teammates for them to produce.
Apologize for the brief technical difficulties there. Bastin with another 3 off the mark at the other end. Coleman grabs the rebound. Remember, she's playing with 4 fouls. Good find for Robbins, and around the corner for Haley Coleman. The 2 post players link up that time for 2 points.
What a connection there. Such unselfish play by these Tigers.
And it'll be a timeout for Coach Menendez. Trinity in front now by 11, their largest lead to the game, 64 to 53, 3 minutes, 35 seconds to go. We'll be right back on the Tiger Network. .335 to play. And Colorado College desperately in need of some offense, and quickly, as Finelli gets into the lane, finds Braley. And I mentioned they're really good out of timeouts, and they showed it there. The connection between the point guard and the post between Finelli and Braley paying dividends for 2 points.
They're going to need a lot more of that. And as Shipley again putting some moves on Colorado, that time Teddy Reed unable to stay with Shipley. One name that has gone pretty quiet that we expected to see a lot more from, Audrey Bastin, had 25 points in the title game last year, and she's had a couple of consecutive double-digit performances, but today, after scoring 11 in the first half, just 2 in the second half.
Yeah, it's really just been the 3 ball not falling for her, and a lot of times, you know, as it goes for her, it goes for the team. The volume of shots that she gets up for Coach Menendez's squad. Robbins grabs that one under pressure from Finelli, and she's got the contact. And with Trinity in the bonus, she'll head to the line. Teddy Reed with a couple consecutive trips down the floor where she's been put under scrutiny defensively. Robbins in the double figures with 10 as the first free throw goes. She's grabbed 3 boards and dished out 2 assists. And she's done a really good job defensively against Finelli. And we saw some good matchups between those two. And we've also seen Finelli go head-to-head with former Tiger Jordan Rudd in that SCAC title game a year ago. It was Jordan Rudd's send-off And she really lit up the scoring charts, not something she was used to doing. Put up 22 in that game. Trinity out and running it now. Leong is finally in amongst the scorers. As she pushes it out to 15, and this one's really gotten away from Colorado College down the stretch, Brian.
Absolutely, and we mentioned how great of a job Colorado was doing limiting the turnovers, but the minute that they started throwing the ball away is the minute that this game got away from them. And no better example that time, Milton just intercepting that pass, outstretching her arms and starting the fast break. Haven't seen a whole lot of fast break action on either side, really. That's just the 11th fast break point for Trinity and just 2 for Colorado. I know on our calls we're so used to seeing teams out and running, but both teams have been doing a good job staying in the half court. But right now and right there, as we speak about that, Coleman with the steal herself. So Trinity really putting an exclamation point on what's been an incredible performance against their biggest rival in the conference.
Yeah, it's been a complete performance, especially for Haley Coleman, who's been the bane of Colorado College existence this year. Beat them with that buzzer beater in Colorado. As Milton on the feed from Shipley puts this one to bed. It's up to a 17-point lead, and for a game that was close throughout, it's going to end up in a blowout.
30 seconds on.
So we come back from the 30-second timeout. We've got 1:35 to go. And Trinity have blown this one open, 72-55. Colorado College looking for some consolation in the final minute and a half, but they just can't hold on to the ball. All their hard work keeping this game clean is really unraveled as we've gone down the stretch here in the fourth quarter.
It also shows a commitment to doing what you know you're capable of. Trinity struggling a little bit early on and going into the half in a tied game, even though they played pretty efficiently in that second quarter, but just wearing out the opponent, and we've seen it so often, even when they get off to a slow start, by the end of the game, before you know it, they're up double digits because of how consistent they are at doing what they do. They don't change their game plan based off of the opponent.
And for Colorado, they were playing uncharacteristically clean basketball. They're a team that on the season has given up a negative 6.5 turnover margin. For Trinity, they only turned it over around 16 times. And as we know, they force a lot of turnovers in the opposition. They're at 72 points right now. Their 79 points per game is 11th in the country. Don't look like they'll push that average out to try and get into the top 10, but they did what they needed to do today, and that was lock down on defense down the stretch and get out and run in transition as Teddy Reed grabs 2 points here in the final minute.
And Ryan, as the clock ticks away, I think it's fair to wonder how long it is before we start to see a number next to this Trinity name. D3 Hoops has been giving Trinity votes for the past several weeks, but this has been an impressive week, and domination of one of the best teams in the conference, I think, merits some consideration for the top 25.
Yeah, absolutely. That win for Colorado against Mary Hardin Baylor will put some extra weight on this win for Trinity. But really, it's all about the Trinity Tigers now 13 straight, and they win it in the end by a comfortable margin, 72-57, as everyone around the gym stands up to applaud, and the buzzer sounds on another Tiger victory. The head coaching debut for Joe Shotland. He's now 1-0. I'm sure he'll be buzzing with excitement about that. It was all about Coleman and Shipley offensively for Trinity. They led the way. The other end, 4 players in double digits for Colorado with Strink, Braley, Bastin. Next up for Trinity, they'll face off against Southwestern on the road on Tuesday. Keep an eye out for the link to watch that one on the road broadcast as we get a wave from Maggie Shipley, who's led her team to another victory today. Brian, your concluding thoughts on a clean sweep for the Trinity teams this weekend, 4-0.
Yeah, clean sweep of Colorado and a clean sweep of St. Thomas. Couldn't have drawn up a better weekend of basketball here at CalGuard Gym. We had some great crowds to match the great games. Truly encourage everyone to come out. These teams go on the road for a quick swing at Southwestern and Texas Lutheran, but as the calendar turns to February, both the men's and women's teams will be back here at CalGuard Gym. So please come out and support the Tigers as school will be back in session. There's such great basketball to be played. Really impressive today how the first half was great for both sides, and Trinity just clearly the better team in the second half, showing the talent that they have. So can't wait to see more of these teams when February hits here in San Antonio.
Yeah, and it's going to hit with a whirlwind of action. It's going to be 5 games for the men, 5 games for the women, all in 8 days. So you're going to get your fix of basketball, hopefully here in CalGuard Gym. If not, stick with us, of course, on the Tiger Network. We'll have all of them for you live. For myself, Ryan Figert, and for Brian Yanselson, for Josh Maxagimba, Ryan Cedillo, and our student crew in the studio, we hope you have a lovely Sunday evening. Trinity certainly had a lovely weekend, 4-0. We'll send you off with that.